All right, Patrick. So if we're gonna kick off this bubble era thing, I've got the car just for you.
Tell me.
Well, it's pretty high tech. 5 valves per cylinder.
Yeah.
Turbocharged.
Like that.
Intercooled.
Also good.
What kind of car you think this is gonna be?
Oh man, that's some kind of high-end, high-performance sports car. Well, where is it? I don't see it.
Right here. It's this tiny van.
What?
Yeah. This is a Mitsubishi Minica Toppo.
Let's wind it back 1 second. What?
Okay. Trust me, this is one of the most interesting, fascinating, exciting cars of the entire Japanese bubble era economy.
I'm not sure I believe you.
Once you drive this thing, you will absolutely understand.
All right, I'm skeptical, but I'm willing to give it a try. Shall we go?
Yeah, let's check it out. Mitsubishi Minica Toppo. I love you.
80年代後半から90年代初頭というバブル時代の真っ只中、日本は世界屈指のスポーツカー、高級車、小型車、その他ニッチな自動車を生産していました。しかし1991年のバブル崩壊後、こういった車は二度と作られなくなりました。米国政府による規制のため25年という長い間、この車たちはアメリカで脚光を浴びる機会はありませんでした。しかし今、私たちはようやくこういった車がどんなものだったのか、一体誰のために作られたのかを紐解くことができます。それでは一緒にバブルカーの夢を見ましょうか。
Effing shit.
What is the issue?
It's so wild! I'm in the right-hand side of the car! I'm driving the right-hand drive!
That is how they work. Steering wheel's on the right.
Oh my god, I haven't done this in a long time.
Yeah. Raph, what are we driving on this inaugural episode of Raph and PG's JDM Wonder Paradise? Definitely a working title.
So this is a Mitsubishi Minica Toppo, and that is a tiny K-class van. And the reason why we're driving this one, other than the fact that it's adorable, is this one has an engine so obscure and interesting that you can't even read about it on Mitsubishi's own website. Not in this car. This is a 5-valve per cylinder, turbocharged, intercooled, 4-cylinder that's just 657cc. Now, Bugatti would use this tech in 1991. Ferrari started in 1994. Mitsubishi beat them both. The 89 Minica Dangan ZZ was the first production car with 5 valves per cylinder. This tech isn't easy to engineer, but it is good for high power and high RPM. So it's funny seeing it in a commuter van that needs none of these things. But it was the bubble era, so it got it anyway. All right, let's run this out. I think it's like... Whoa! It's like the red line on this thing is unbelievable.
Tell them what it is.
The tach runs to $9,000.
We are in 9,000!
This car is the size of a large toaster. It's a van and has 5 valves per cylinder. It's turbocharged intercooled. It runs to $9,000. There's no one who's ever made a car like this since. No one has ever made a car like this before.
This is a K car. It's an extremely common type of compact car found in Japan's home market. K is short for Keiji Dosha, which means light vehicle. It's a classification of Japanese cars that's been around since about the end of World War II. K cars are limited on size and engine displacement. They're only about 9 to 11 feet long and are far smaller than even the compact cars we have here in America. Since 1990, K cars can have engines up to 660 cc's in size, so their motors are tiny too. Owners in Japan get to enjoy various tax and insurance breaks by buying K cars, not to mention they're super easy to park in crowded cities like Tokyo, making these an extremely popular type of car even today. So like there's a lot of reasons you, as a Japanese person, might want a K car over like a large full-size car. And as you know, it's pretty rare, in America to find a car with an engine under 1 liter in displacement.
Like strictly speaking, it's kind of hard to find a car with like an engine less than like 48 liters.
Yeah. So how does it drive?
It drives shockingly fun. The power! And the It's really making me drive like a hoonigan. Oh my god. This is an utterly unsuspecting, tiny green van.
At low RPMs, it's very smooth. Once the power builds, it just like that.
It's a screaming little, like, it's like a wild hot hatch, but
Yeah.
like way more intense. And it's a tiny van. I cannot stress this enough.
It's a hot hatch motor with a 5-speed manual in like a fan body.
Yes.
That's all the car you ever need.
This is insane.
You don't need any more car than that. This is brilliant. Yeah, I try to like put myself in the mindset of who would have bought this car in Japan in 1994. And being in it, I'm like, I get it. Like, this makes a lot of sense. This is crazy practical. This body, you can put all kinds of stuff in, and this engine's wild and really fun to drive.
Like, today, car makers have to be like, who's gonna buy this car? It's gotta be tens, hundreds of thousands of people.
Mm-hmm.
This car feels like it was designed for maybe 5 to 10 people. Who are like,
2 of whom are us.
2 of them are us. They're like, oh yeah, I need a wild hot hatch cargo van. And it actually gives...
All right.
It actually does more speed than I even thought it would. I still don't know if I've even gotten it to red line.
We were going about 80 kilometers. Was it about 50, I think?
Honestly, it's a little bit too fast.
Yeah.
And these things were, again, just meant for very basic transportation.
Yeah.
Right? Nothing. Boost. 6, 7, 8, and 9,500 RPM. Wow. Dear God.
Was that all in second?
That was all in second. And how fast were we? We were going like...
You were going about 80 kilometers an hour, yeah.
This is a peppy car.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'm gonna pull over. This is a road which dead ends.
Yeah, I
want you to hop in and just experience what this engine is, because I need someone.
Yes, I'm happy I could fit in this thing, because a lot of these K cars, they just weren't designed for people like with our body types in America. You know, like we're tall, kind of, and sometimes wider people, and like.
Yeah, I'm in a room. The amount of headroom is unbelievable.
I definitely know how to drive a car.
So, like, you're driving around now and it's normal until you start getting up, and then you're just like, what is happening?
What?
Wait, what is going on? You're in a van.
Dude, what the shit? This is not what I expected.
Right?
It's very top heavy. Like, cornering is not its strong suit. We'll just say that.
Again, who is this car for? It's like, it's too tall to be a hot hatchback.
Yeah.
It's still a van, and it just has a lunatic engine in it.
This is so fun to drive. It's just absurd. I mean, like, even on a little course like this, you can just tell. Take it around the bend here. Oh yeah, here we go. We're gonna die. Oh my God, it's like tucks in like this.
Listen to the motor.
Okay, great. We just drove this magnificent Mitsubishi.
Yes.
But the driving experience is only one part of the story. We've got to see how cool it is and crazy it is inside and out.
First of all, look at it. Look at it. Every single time you look at it is a different, it's smaller than you remembered it. Do you want to guess how long this car is?
How long is it, Raph?
It's not even 11 feet long. It's like 10.8 feet.
I love this gigantic, just rectangular window that's right there. That's pretty delightful.
Yes.
Well, you got to show them the splash graphics up here because it's the 90s, you know.
Oh.
Got to have splash graphics.
It is the 90s of a gun. Look at how jazzy it is.
Oh my goodness.
Look
Look
at
how
this.
tiny it is. Take us a tour of what we're looking at in here.
Okay, so in a regular old Minica, you would have had this tiny little engine here and maybe like some little happy carburetor or something. But in this one, very different. Intercooled, turbo, 5 valves per cylinder on a 4-cylinder. So this is like super mega high horsepower engine technology. It's just in tiny, like a tiny quantity. Look at how minute the radiator is.
Yeah.
It doesn't even cover half the car.
Everything is like, it's like an engine that we Americans are used to, but like shrunk down in
Yes.
every way. Like you zapped it with a ray.
Yeah. And again, like Ferrari would have 5 valves per cylinder on what, the 355?
Yeah.
And this is a tiny commuter van. It's unbelievable. This is dual overhead cam.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of like technology in such a tiny package.
Yeah.
It was not long after this that they said, you know what, the gains of 5 valves per cylinder over 4 don't outweigh the amount of complexity you have. So you have this brief moment where something like this really makes sense to a car maker, and now it's a totally obsolete technology.
Yeah.
Even though it was like more, it's like it's too much for a regular car for anyone to actually use.
It definitely reminds me of like, I think the closest modern equivalent to this that I've driven is like a Fiat 500 Abarth.
Yes.
You know, this is obviously like a smaller but taller package, and the weight's different, and the power delivery is a little different, but they're close. Like if you've driven one, you sort of get how this behaves. Let's move inside.
Yeah, let's take a look inside. All right, so look at this thing. First of all, take note that even though this is a super plain interior, $9 grand on the tack, which is unreal.
Like a motorcycle.
Yes. And now you like this fabric interior, do you not?
I do. I'm a great fan of this like multicolored kind of very 90s fabric that's kind of throughout the entire interior. It's on like these door inserts here on the floor mats. It's on the seats. It's everywhere. It's very tasteful.
If you were to describe to me the thickness of this fabric, how would you describe it?
I'd say extremely thick.
Extremely
thick.
It's fabric, but it's super high quality.
Yeah,
They
and
really gave a shit.
I'm not really a fan of cloth seats because they're often cheap and terrible, but these are pretty magical.
And the back, it's like, it's so high.
Yeah.
I can almost stand
You
up.
could almost stand up, that's the thing.
In a car that is like not even 11 feet long.
Like it's small, but when you get inside, you have this like holy crap moment. You're like, oh my God, I have all this headroom. There's so much of it.
I am also trapped in a net. I have netted myself.
Yeah, there is
I'm an adult.
up top, there's this like bar set up here that has this big net so you can put like your gear and stuff up there without having to throw it all the way back.
It's a rail.
Yeah.
And look at this.
Very clever. This is awesome too.
Oh, you've got a little cubby. It's like a tiny RV.
Little hidey hole. This is like a cardboard or something up there. I don't know, but it's like you can put stuff up there. You know,
Okay.
Whatever you want, really.
I will also point out this is so 90s. Just the bare metal everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's great.
Listen to the doors shut. Just listen. Yeah, there you go. Nice resounding clank.
And look, I think I pull this and.
Oh yeah, this is great.
This folds like flat.
Yeah,
This is actually pretty good.
You've got a ton of room in this car.
And the glass opens all the way up. This is legit an extremely practical car.
Yeah.
It even has one cup holder.
Just as like a city dweller, like who's like wants like a car that's like small and parkable and practical, but also really fun. Like I get the appeal of this thing. Like if all K cars were like this back in the day, like you get why someone who's a car enthusiast would want something like this.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't think of any car that adds so much practicality and also so much performance, and it doesn't matter that they don't mesh at all. It's just like we're gonna do them both at the exact same time.
Now, as we discussed earlier, the kind of trade-off is the handling because it's so tall. It's very top-heavy. It's not like you will not be winning any autocross in this thing. You may in fact roll it.
You may fly off of a mountain.
But you gotta lose on something.
If you fly off a mountain, the Mitsubishi will carry you on hopes and dreams.
Yes, into heaven.
Yes, straight into
because
car
you died.
heaven. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you died.
Oh my goodness. God, I love this car.
So Raph,
Yes.
what do you think?
I'm in love. I'm really in love with this thing.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
What's interesting though is that this was far from being the only really weird, fascinating K car of the bubble era. Now we're gonna take a look at one from Mitsubishi's crosstown rivals at Subaru. That's very different, but also very unique in its own special way.
Okay.
Let's go there now.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Watch your head.
Oh.